everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's time for my monthly reading wrap up. This month I got through some hits and some misses in DNF. So let's dive right into everything I read this month. The first one is Her Night at the Museum. This book my mom actually picked out for me from my TBR shelf, and I read it while I was visiting my hometown. If you want to check out that video, I'll have it linked above and below and all that good stuff. Her Night at the Museum ended up being a really fun surprise. It's quirky, light, and exactly the kind of magical, fun rom-com premise I fall for. A medieval knight is cursed into stone for centuries and suddenly brought back to life by Emily, a museum conservator, who's just trying to rebuild after her divorce. Emily's relatable and a little messy in a charming way. Griffin is basically a golden retriever knight. His old-fashioned chivalry, his reactions to modern Chicago, are just how down bad he is for Emily made me laugh so many times. Their chemistry is sweet and earnest, a little spicy, and the time travel adjacent vibes mixed with the tiny art heist plotline really kept things interesting. I did take off a star for Tusk Love and the third act conflict that really felt unnecessary, but overall, this is adorable, whimsical, funny, and escapist, just a genuinely good time. My next book is Not You Again, which is an arc I got from NetGalley. It was such a fun, slightly chaotic twist to the time loop trope. Instead of one person reliving the same day, it's the entire town stuck and everyone knows it. Now, while that's a really fun, interesting twist to the trope, it does create some questions in why are people reacting to this as oh, my decisions don't matter because it's going to reset the next day because of everyone remembers it. So there are consequences in some ways. Like if you, let's say you, dyed your hair blonde or something. And when you wake up, it's going to go back to whatever your natural hair color was. Yeah, no consequences there. But if you do something crazy like, slap someone, well, that person's going to remember it because everyone remembers the time loop. So therefore, some of your actions do have consequences still. But everyone in the book acts like they don't. It's very strange. But I'm willing to overlook it. The main female character, Carly, keeps waking up at her dad's funeral, and Adam wakes up in the moment his fiancée confesses she's been cheating. It's messy, emotional, and honestly such a clever setup for two people who would have never crossed paths to suddenly be thrown together over and over and over again. I really liked Carly and Adam as a duo. They're prickly, stubborn, and a little bit grumpy with each other in the beginning, and watching them slowly team up to figure out what's causing the loop was my favorite part. I love the eclipse angle, the weird little town details, and the way the story explores grief, regret, and second chances without getting too heavy. For me, this landed at about 4 stars, mainly because the romance is a bit softer than I expected, and the exploration for the time loop is intentionally left open-ended, but as a concept, so fun. As a character journey, really satisfying, and as an arc, I'm glad I picked it up. And next up, I read Mate by Ali Hazelwood, and just for some context, I still actually haven't finished Bride yet, but honestly, I didn't feel like I was lost at all not having read it. This completely works as its own standalone novel. So in this one, we follow Serena, who's the first human-were hybrid, and basically every political faction wants a piece of her. Her safest option ends up being with Cohen, Northwest Alpha, who's very much I will protect you with my entire life, please stop arguing kind of person. The best part for me was Serena herself. She's sharp, funny, and pretty much carries the book. I also liked learning more about the Were packs and their backstories. But I totally understand the mixed reviews. The plot feels a little all over the place. It starts with vampire danger, then shifts to a mysterious illness, and then a celibacy oath, and then suddenly there's a cult, and the original conflict kind of disappears. And Cohen, listen, you're supposed to be 36 years old and an alpha, a leader, but the man says some things I would not even expect a teenage boy to say. And it's just off-putting at times, and really took me out of the story. And honestly, sometimes made it kind of hard to take him seriously. However, the banter is fun, the chemistry is there, but sometimes the humor pops up in moments where you're like, okay, maybe not right now? I also feel like their emotional connection could have been deeper a little bit. Overall, it's a silly, chaotic, entertaining read, not my favorite of hers, but still fun in its own way. So the next one is Tusk Love, which was my absolute favorite from the month. It absolutely stole my heart. I went in expecting a fun Critical Role Easter egg come to life, and instead I got a full sweeping romantasy with so much heart, chemistry, and adventure that I was genuinely obsessed from start to finish. We follow Guinevere, a merchant's daughter raised for duty and politics until a bandit attack throws her plans into chaos and forces her onto the Amber Road with Oscar, a grumpy half-orc who saves her life. And oh my gosh, their dynamic, perfection. Totally grumpy sunshine to an extreme, which I can admit kind of leans towards cartoonish occasionally. Totally opposites attract, and the slow burn tension between them sizzles. Oscar is protective, Gwen grows into confidence and compassion, and watching them soften towards each other was easily my favorite part of the entire book. The world building is light enough that you don't really need to know anything about Critical Role or D&D, but fans will catch little nods to make it even more fun. The adventure is cozy, and the emotional beat is surprisingly deep. My only note is that the ending wrapped up a bit quickly, but honestly, I didn't even care because I was so invested in the journey. This was hands down my favorite read of the month, and such a delight to see a fictional in-world Critical Role book turned into something that's heartfelt and fully realized. I absolutely adored it. And then the last book I read this month was a novel love story by Ashley Poston, and honestly this one was such a charming surprise. The premise alone completely hooked me. A romance reader literally stumbling into the fictional town from her favorite book series. So clever. And Ashley Poston really leans into that magical, cozy, almost Hallmark movie feeling in the best way. It did take me a little bit to fully settle into the story, but once things clicked, I really appreciate how creative and comforting the whole world felt. Alorton, I think I'm pronouncing that right, has this nostalgic small town magic to it. Sweet shops, burnt burgers, afternoon rain, it all gave me total storybook vibes in the best way possible. I also really love the friendship moments in this book as well. Ashley Poston writes female friendships with so much heart. And okay, Anders, grumpy bookstore owner with the mint green eyes, he had more than a few moments that made me smile and blush. He's definitely got that quiet, soft under the grump charm. I'm still kind of on the fence about how I feel about the plot twist, especially the reveal about Anders' past. It did add a touch of grief and sweetness that grounded the story and made the emotional beats hit a little harder. If I'm honest, I do wish I had connected a teeny bit more with the characters from the start, but the creativity of the premise and the cozy magical realism totally made up for it. And I actually got to see Ashley Poston talk at DragonCon. If you want to go check out my reading at DragonCon vlog, which I'll link down below. And finally, my DNF, Overruled. I always go into every romance hoping to love it, but a few chapters in and I just realized it just wasn't going to be the book for me. The story opens immediately with spice, which made it harder for me to buy into their relationship or feel any build-up. And as things went on, the same conflicts kept repeating over and over with lots of miscommunication and decisions that didn't feel believable for two characters who were supposed to be highly competent adults and highly competent lawyers at that. The legal plot itself didn't really feel grounded, and emotionally, I struggled to connect with the main female character, who often reacted in ways that felt immature or inconsistent. By the time the logic leaps and the characters' choices start piling up, I knew pressing on just wasn't worth it for me. So this ended up being my only DNF of the month, which honestly I'm fine with because everything else I picked up this month was so much more enjoyable. So that's everything I read this month. Discovered a new 5-star read, a few mixed bags, and one book I couldn't finish. But overall, it was a really fun reading month. And if you want to see more bookish adventures, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! It says everything I read this month. There was one almost 5-star read, a few mixed bags, and a book I didn't finish. But overall, it was a really fun reading month. So thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to hear what you've been reading lately. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!